Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing again? We are at the DV Night Talk, like I told you guys I would be. So, hello. Hopefully, this isn't too high. I think that it is. Hold on 1 second. I have to bring you guys down a little bit lower. There we go. It's good. It's good right there. All right. So, I wanted to come on here and we are going to do exactly what I said I was going to do, talk about DV, right? But this time we're talking about domestic violence, but we're talking about starting fresh, which can be very, very hard for people. I know it was hard for me because it's just like you have to start over. And I don't know how many times I had to start over. It was not fun. So before I get into that, let me just get myself situated with everything and make sure I have everything I need, which I think so. I already got that going on. So I think you guys are good. I think you guys are good. All right. So let's get into it. So earlier today when I got on, I was talking about a young lady that I had seen on social media who was, crying about her life and who she is and what she thought she was about and the things she didn't really like about herself like a lot. And sometimes you have to start over on top of that. I think I'm going to put you guys back at the top. I'm looking down at you guys. I don't want to look down. So hopefully that's better. We'll see. Anyway, so when I was thinking about that myself, I was like, yeah, I've had to start over myself, and it has not been fun. But you have to start over. You're like, oh man, I'm just starting over, and it's like it's not the easiest of things to do, right? It's not always the fun thing to do. So you're like, let's not try to do that because you don't really want to have to deal with starting afresh, moving, all of the things. And so I was like, oh, okay. Hold on 1 second, you guys. I think I'm gonna turn off one of these lights. I don't know if I want it to be like super dim, but I don't know. I'll just leave it alone. I'll deal with it tomorrow on a different time. Because it's like, sometimes I try to get in the same spot, but I can't always because my spots are always being taken over. But if I haven't welcome you. I want to welcome you to God's Gift Through His Word podcast. Welcome. So I'm glad you're here. I always am happy for you to be here. So let's get into our topic. And what is that? Our topic is you starting fresh. That's what we're talking about. So I wanted to talk about that because along with you getting your mindset together and straining things out, you have to start fresh. It's not going to be easy. That's you starting over, whatever that looks like, whether it's going through divorce, breaking up from a person, moving out of state, moving away to a different city, or just moving to just a different part of the area in the city. You're going to have to start over, right? And at first, it can be just daunting and it can be frustrating because like why do I have to move again and I have to move again, and it feels like you're just always moving, always on the go, always on the move, and it can never get settled. You're always moving. And I know for me that was the case. And some of the things me moving wasn't because I wanted to, it was just all the transition. Every time I turned around, it was like, okay, I'm moving from here, I'm moving from here. But eventually, the Lord got me settled, right? So I can grab some roots for my kids, grab some roots for myself. And I was just thinking earlier, all this stuff I've been running from is not just running from myself, but running from other people. Like trying to run from these people that I was like, okay, I don't want you to harm me. So I'm going to run over here and run over here. But now, no more running. I stand my ground, stand my ground. And I hope that you'll stand your ground as well. Because after you've done all the running, sometimes there's no other thing to do than to stand and face it. Face what it is, face the challenges, face the difficulty, right? And I'm not saying you stay in the situation of domestic violence. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying after you've left and all those things, sometimes you have to deal with the people. And there have been people in your life that they have, for whatever reason, you thought they were for you, and you find out they weren't. They were never for you. They just were there. Sometimes they want to know the tea. They want to know the 411 of what's going on in your life, just so they have something to talk about. Not that they care, not that they're going to try to help you, just what's going on in your life. Tell me, right? And those are kind of people you don't need in your life, because they're not going to, of course, they're not going to help you. They just want to know what you got going on in all your business. But like, why am I telling you you're not going to be able to help me with anything? You just want to know for nosy's sake, right? You just want to be nosy, and why, right? So that's that is one of those things. When you're starting fresh, you have to make sure that you have the right people you're starting fresh with, right? Sometimes you have to let friendships go. Sometimes friendships are no longer serving you, and you have to let those go. I mean, you can always find new friends, and you can always, if those old friends come back up, there's always room to, like, of course, reconnect and rebuild and rekindle the friendship if both parties want to do that. If not, it's okay. No harm, no foul, right? Everybody's had a season and a moment, and there's a time and season for everything. Sometimes times and seasons, they change, and it's like, okay, we had our season, and not bad, not good nor bad. It's just time to move on, right? So starting fresh, it can be a challenge, but it's can be exciting as well. Like, you get to meet new people, go to new areas, do new things, do things that you haven't done, or do things that you were going to do or started doing, and you stop for whatever reason. You stop because of the situation, because you had to go through DV. And DV, for those that are watching, why do you keep saying DV? It's abbreviation for domestic violence, for those that don't know. And this is, of course, still October. We are still in Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So that's definitely why I am still talking about it. And of course, I will talk about it after this month is over. So I'm like, okay, well, October's over. No more Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Yeah, it's still domestic violence awareness, right? And I still want to keep pushing that out, because there are people that are still dealing with this. It is not something that has disappeared out of the globe, out of America. It's still very much relevant, still very much prevalent, and it still harms a lot of men, a lot of women, a lot of families, right? Boys and girls, children. It harms a lot of people, pets included. And that's a dangerous thing, and it's a sad thing. And you don't want to have to think about it, but it's a reality, right? It's a reality. And for those of us that have our own story, who have overcome and come out of that situation, you're able to speak about it. You're able to speak about the navigation for you, right? I get to speak out of it for the navigation for me as being a military veteran. I can speak to that, how that works for me. And the services and things that were not provided because I was military affiliated, right? Like, not active duty, but even active duty have their own, right? Have their own way that they have to deal. And in the military, it's different. It really is. People think it's just like regular DV. Like I said, domestic violence has its nuances. And depending on whom your aggressor or a person who harms is, it can look very, very different, right? Like I said, there's the big general pattern of the power and control wheel of all those things. But it's very nuanced. It's very nuanced down to the person that is inflicting harm. There's different things that that individual will do that, say, that the person that gets harmed by that individual wouldn't do to me, because they're different. It's different. This is just a different dynamic. It's just a different mindset. And like I said, you have a different person. That's why when people say, "Oh, it is so easy for people to just remove themselves from that situation and just start over," no, it's really not. It is. It's not. And sometimes people say stuff, and they say it thinking that they're helping, and the comments are not helpful, right? Sometimes people say stuff and they think, oh, well, it's just easy. Just pack up your stuff and just go. Like, If I knew back then when I said that statement to a friend of mine, I would have never said that statement because, oh no, it's not that easy to leave that situation. You're like, oh, you just get your suitcases and go. No, it's not. I'm going to take you guys down because I think I'm talking so high. So there we go. I would do that better. So I have continued to explore myself, explore me over here because these lights, they're just doing the most because I am not in my spot, like I said. So they're they're always doing the most. And different people can understand, and they don't necessarily want to. But when you allow them to see from your bird's eye view, looking down on the situation, looking into the situation, like, wow, that's really something, right? And as I look back at it, the person who I have become has been because of that situation. And it's not to say that I've become worse. No, I've grown, right? I've grown, I've learned. And like I stated before, what I did to run away from my family was to go in the military first. And then, of course, I latched on to my now ex husband and never, like my friend said, never leave a situation out of desperation. It's almost like for me, what other option did I have? You know, I said I did the first option. The desperation took me to the military. And then how did that work out? That's a whole nother thing we'll talk about at a different juncture. I'm still trying to process for myself how to share that story. And when Brother Ron did it for me, I opened a portion of that door. But it's still challenging for me to open that door because I had wanted that as a career. Some other people didn't want that as a career. They just, need something to do. Pardon me for some water. So people don't understand, right? When you had a career, you had a plan, and the plan that you thought that you had, the Lord didn't have that for you. And I thought I was good. Like I had planned everything, like my retirement, everything. I'm going to the military, be an officer, like had the plan ready to go. At least I thought so. And then changes. Changes happen, different things happen. Life changed a lot of things. And I'm like, oh, okay. I never expected that I would be a mother with 4 kids and, single, right? I never wanted that. But here I am. And I've had to start fresh a few times for me. I've had to start over and over and over. So when I speak to you about starting over, I speak it because I've done it. Is it easy? No. Can it be done? Absolutely. Will there be challenges? Definitely. But on the other side, you don't have to worry about somebody harming you because you'll be where you need to be and away from that person. And that's important, right? That's very important to have, very important to know, just very important for you, right? So if this resonates, you can put that down in the comments that, yeah, this resonates with me. I keep thinking I'm starting afresh. Why do I have to keep starting over? Sometimes we have to start over because the Lord is moving us. And while He's moving us to different spaces and different places, there will be people, as He did for me, He's going to do for you. He's no respecter of persons that will come alongside you and navigate with you and help you through certain things. I remember for me, there was something I had gone through with one of my daughters, and one of my daughters was already had been diagnosed with special needs, and she has autism, so she's on the spectrum. And so I had got another diagnosis because they had evaluated my other daughter and found she had intellectual disorder, so she had a special need. I was like, "Oh, okay." And I didn't know at that time how to handle it. I remember I called my friend Pastor Jay, and I was just bawling, wailing on the phone. They said, "You know what? Maybe the Lord wants me to go through this with you." I was like, thought I could only take one. I could only handle one, and now I have two? I have two? Like, what am I supposed to do? And now I've met a young lady who has 3 kids with special needs. I'm like, wow, I could only imagine. I have 2, but I have 4 kids. So I don't know. We all have our challenges in this life, and we know that the Lord has handpicked and handcrafted certain obstacles for us to deal with, to grow through, to learn from. And for me, I'm learning that although it can be challenging, God's gonna bring me through every single obstacle and every single challenge. I'm not going through it alone. I'm not by myself in this. And that's what you need to know too. You're not starting fresh because you just wanted to start fresh. You're starting fresh because you have to. You're starting fresh because it's a necessity. You're starting fresh because that's the option that you have on the table. You can't go back to where you just came from. You have to go forward. And sometimes going forward means starting fresh, starting new, a new job, a new place, a new city, a new town, whatever, a new state, even a new country. But you have to start fresh and have to leave some of the old people, old things, old habits, have to leave that in the past where it belongs. So I didn't want to take too much of your time. I just wanted to tell you about that. Starting fresh will look different for everyone, and it probably looks different for you. But remember, the Lord is doing a new thing. Can you not perceive it? He's going to make rivers in your desert. He's doing a new thing. So when you start afresh, know that God is helping and assisting and aiding and leading and guiding you, and you starting fresh, right? And sometimes people don't understand that. They just want to just have arrived, and you're not going to arrive. You will always be striving, but the Lord's able and very capable of placing you somewhere where He wants you to be. God's not sleeping, God's not slow, and God's not disappeared, right? He is very present, very accessible, and watching and working things out for you. When you think, oh, well, man, I wish this would have worked out. You don't know what the Lord has planned to do. You have no idea. So until then, you need to be faithful to what He's having you to do in the meantime, right? And that's what I'm doing. I am doing the things the Lord has laid in my lap, and I will just go forward in that. Now, if the Lord says, "Hey, stop doing that. That's not what I want you to do." Well, guess what? I'm gonna have to pivot and make a shift and make a change. I'm not so attached to the things that I do or the places where I live. I used to be attached to all the different places, like, "Oh, I'll always live here," until one day it's like, "You know what? I should probably start writing down where I'm gonna be for Christmas because every time I'm somewhere else." In the time of transition and moving, I was always going somewhere else, so I always would put where I'm gonna be for Christmas. Somebody doesn't really have to put that down because they know where they're gonna be for Christmas. I had to put that down on my journey, and I remember when I would go to the transitional housing and driving back to beat curfew at 11, I would be listening to all these gospel songs, and they would they would be my joy. I would put them on, and I'm like, yeah. And when I would drive around San Pedro, going up to the White Point area or Point Furman Park, I would put on Mary Mary's "Go Get Your Blessing," and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna go after it. And then never stop. And I never did. And I'm still not stopping, not till I get to where the Lord wants me to be. I'm going to continue doing that. Excuse me. Pardon me for another water break. I don't know why, excuse me, why my throat sometimes get parched. I get those frogs. Y'all know, like, oh, she gets frogs. Yes, I do. But these little waters are so cute. Got them from Aldi's. I love me some Aldi's. I was introduced to it by old friend I used to have, Dr. K, and of course, Pastor J. They said, "Have you ever been to Aldi's?" I was like, "What's an Aldi? Like, what is that? You never heard of it?" I have not. And you keep saying it like I should know it. And then Aldi's came to California, to Torrance, California, the first one that I had ever experienced. I was like, oh, this is an Aldi. And then Aldi's now is here in Arizona. And I just went to the new one they just built in Casa Grande. And I went in there. I was like, oh, I mean, they have one in Chandler too, but this is a new one. And I wanted to go in there and see. They have different things at this one than they do at the one in Chandler, but it was just exciting. It was exciting to know that all the things that I've been able to do, it's been by the Lord's help. It hasn't been by my own. So I just want to encourage you today, whatever it is that you find that you're going through, know that the Lord's going to work it out. He truly will. He's not going to let you fail. He's not going to let you just falter, and it's not going to happen. God is so good. So I just want to get on here. And if you need to start fresh, start fresh. If you have to start over, right? And it may not look good now. It may not feel good now. It may not be very comfortable now. But later on, all that you've gone through, all that you suffered through, all that you have been through, it will eventually pay itself off. And the Lord knows He's watching you and wants to see that you're faithful. So stay faithful to the mission, stay faithful to the call, and know that God is watching and He's there and He hears every single solitary prayer that you have ever done and are you currently doing. So don't get sidetracked at all. If you have to start fresh, start fresh. Is it easy? No. But listen, on the other side, you'll see like, okay, Lord, I'm starting fresh, I'm starting over. And I know what that is. It can be hard, right? It can be very, very hard. But you got this. You got this. You can do this. And greater is He that is in you than he that is in the world. You definitely got this. And like I said earlier, from Psalm 139:14, go back and check the other live. God said that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. Fearfully and wonderfully made. Hold on to that. Don't let it go. Hold on to that fact. You know it. And I hope you will remember it. So, a big kiss from me to you. Remember, I love you with the love of Lord Jesus Christ. And I think I did it already, but a big kiss from me to you. And remember to be blessed, motivated, and always inspired to do what the Lord lays on your heart. Remember, thank you all for being here. Have a blessed, blessed day, you guys. And I will see you guys again real soon. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, do all the things, comment. You know the drill. Do all the things. I will be seeing you guys later. You guys take care. Bye now.
Get through His word. It's God's gift through His word. It's God's gift through His word. It's God's gift through His word.